Hello and welcome to Doom Does DVD, and this is Disney Classics number 40, Atlantis, The Lost Empire. And honestly, I'm having a hard time believing that we're up to number 40 already. But anyway, this one is one which I'm actually quite looking forward to for a couple of reasons. One is simply that it's been personally recommended to me a couple of times. It was already on my to-watch list before I even started this project. And the other thing is that this is the second main usage of the new Deep Canvas software, which they used for all the fancy 3D backgrounds back in Tarzan. We've not seen that in the last two because Fantasia 2000 was, multiple different animation styles. It didn't seem to be there for the Emperor's New Groove, which I'm not entirely sure why, but it's probably because either that had been in production so long that it started before the software arrived, or that the people running the Deep Canvas software could only work at one at a time and they went from Tarzan to Atlantis while another team was doing Emperor's New Groove. Probably a bit of both. And I'm interested to see how that technology has evolved over 2 years and how the artists have probably started finding out more interesting things they can do with it as they practice more. As for what to expect from the story, though, I really don't have a lot to say about that. The myth of Atlantis is not something I really know a lot about. Some kind of forgotten ancient city that's lost under the sea. That's about all I know. I don't know how much more there is to know, whether there's stories or whether it's just, I don't quite actually know where that all comes from. And any knowledge I might think I have comes from like weird alternate sources where they've taken the basic concept and put their own twist on it, like Stargate for example. So I'm actually very interested to find out what this is all about and if it's any good and the technical things behind it. So I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully it can live up to those expectations. Let's find out. So I'm just going to come right out and say it. That was great, I loved it. But it's also a bit of an odd one in that it doesn't really feel anything like Disney, while at the same time being entirely Disney. By which I mean this has got way more in common with, the Sunday afternoon Disney family-friendly adventure film than it has with their more, animated musicals. It fits in more with the likes of Flight of the Navigator or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or One of Our Dinosaurs is Missing. It's just this one happens to be animated. There's no songs or anything like that, it's just straight up action-adventure with a very brisk pace. And if I'm honest, while I do enjoy the musicals, this is way more my general cup of tea. As I said, it's got a fast pace that just keeps going and doesn't waste too much time. It's got a group of diverse, interesting characters, and it's got a fun, entertaining story. That story, admittedly, is pretty predictable and full of tropes, but it's done well, and that's pretty common in, family-friendly fare. It's definitely one of Disney's most computer-generated films up to this point. With the slightly early 2000s texturing, it gives it a very sort of cel-shaded look. I don't know if that's entirely on purpose or sort of more of a limitations of technology, but even though that's a style I personally very much enjoy, it again sort of separates it out from the more traditional Disney fare. And so because it was quite a big departure from things we had recently, that probably goes a long way to explain why it didn't do all that great at the box office during its original run. Because, after years of fairy tales and musicals, hearing Disney animated film gives you certain expectations, which this film doesn't exactly meet, despite it being good in many other ways. Also a stellar voice cast, Michael J. Fox, Leonard Nimoy, James Garner, and it was fun to hear Claudia Christian, who I don't think I've ever seen in anything apart from Babylon 5. So yeah, this is another one where I didn't actually make very many notes while I was watching this one. It was going on a rapid pace, and I was enjoying myself too much to really even think about that. It hits pretty much everything I would be looking for in a nice family-friendly action-adventure film. And I've got to say that puts it for me right near the top of my all-time favourite Disney films, which I honestly was not expecting. So what are your thoughts on this one? As always, leave those in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week with Lilo and Stitch.